Childhood is a mirror, reflecting the earliest form of our personality, but it may also leave hidden cracks. In Toxic Parents, Dr. Susan Forward unveils a truth. Many adults' anxiety, self-doubt, and struggles in intimate relationships stem from the toxic influence of their childhood families. This book is not just a look back at the past, but a roadmap to self-healing, guiding us to mend inner flaws and rebuild a healthy life. Chapter 1. The Invisible Marks of the Family of Origin. Everyone carries the marks of their childhood into their lives. Some of these marks are warm and bright, while others linger like shadows. Dr. Susan Forward points out that our family of origin is the starting point of our personality, with parents' behaviors deeply shaping our self-perception and habits. She defines toxic parents as those who, through control, neglect, criticism, or abuse, cause lasting psychological harm to their children. These harms are not always obvious, but may surface in adulthood as low self-esteem, dependency, or fear of intimacy. Take Hollywood actress Angelina Jolie as an example. Her mother, Marshaline Bertrand, was a loving but emotionally unstable single parent. Angelina once recalled that her mother was sometimes overly affectionate and other times distant due to her own emotional struggles. This inconsistent parenting left Angelina feeling insecure in intimate relationships as an adult, fearing abandonment. Forward writes, inconsistent parental behavior creates an inner conflict in children. They crave love but fear the pain it may bring. Angelina's story mirrors the experiences of many. Childhood uncertainty can translate into hypersensitivity in adult relationships. The influence of the family of origin is not destiny. Forward emphasizes that understanding these marks is the first step toward healing. Parents may not intend harm, as their behaviors often stem from their own childhood traumas. This intergenerational pattern of harm ripples across generations. For instance, a mother who was overly controlled as a child may unconsciously impose the same control on her own children. Recognizing this allows us to shift from blame to understanding and move toward change. This intergenerational trauma doesn't just affect families, it can also impact broader social relationships. Its impact is especially pronounced in modern society, particularly in fast-paced, high-pressure urban life. Many people develop unhealthy coping mechanisms in childhood due to parental neglect or control, such as people-pleasing or conflict avoidance. These mechanisms formed in the family often persist in workplaces, schools, or social circles. For example, a child raised in a controlling family may suppress their opinions in team settings, fearing conflict. This behavior can lead to missed career opportunities or difficulty forming genuine friendships. Intergenerational trauma can also spread through cultural norms. In cultures that prioritize face, parents may impose excessive expectations on children to avoid social judgment, burdening them with heavy psychological loads. This burden may manifest as an intense fear of failure, even stifling their creativity. Forward notes that breaking the cycle requires identifying the source of these patterns and consciously challenging them. Through therapy or self-reflection, we can learn to voice our true thoughts at work or set healthy boundaries in relationships. Such changes not only improve personal well-being, but also foster more honesty and collaboration in society. For instance, a child from a controlling family may habitually defer to authority at work, struggling to express their true opinions. If this pattern isn't broken, it will repeat throughout their life. Forward suggests examining these patterns at their root to understand how they influence our decisions, emotions, and interactions. Only through this tracing can we truly understand why we fall into certain struggles. Forward also notes that childhood experiences shape our inner script, subconscious belief system that dictates how we view ourselves and others. For example, a neglected child may develop an "I'm not important" script, leading to social withdrawal or abandoning their dreams as an adult. This script is not fixed, but requires conscious effort to rewrite. Forward offers a simple method: recall key childhood events, document how they shaped your feelings and behaviors, and gradually unveil these scripts. Chapter 2. The 5 Faces of Toxic Parents. Forward categorizes toxic parents into 5 types, each leaving unique scars on their children. The first type is controlling parents, who strip away a child's autonomy through manipulation and over-involvement. The second is neglectful parents, who are emotionally absent, making children feel worthless. The third is perfectionist parents, whose high standards leave children feeling perpetually inadequate. The fourth is abusive parents, who may inflict physical or emotional abuse, destroying a child's sense of self. The fifth is chaotic parents, whose unpredictable emotions and behaviors keep children in a state of uncertainty. Take controlling parents as an example. Forward shares the case of Jennifer. Jennifer's mother demanded nightly reports of her activities, even trying to control her career and partner choices into adulthood. This left Jennifer feeling suffocated and afraid to make her own decisions. Forward writes, controlling parents see their children as extensions of themselves, not as independent individuals. This control made Jennifer overly accommodating at work, unable to express her true thoughts. Similar stories appear in Chinese contexts. Ruoxi pseudonym, a 32-year-old Shanghai office worker, recalls her mother interfering in her life for her own good, from choosing her college major to her marriage partner. Lin once felt she had no right to make decisions, even hesitating to refuse unreasonable demands from her boss. Forward notes that such control weakens personal boundaries, making it hard to form healthy relationships as an adult. Lin's experience is not unique. Many struggle under similar control, feeling their lives are defined by others. The impact of neglectful parents is equally profound. Neglectful parents' harm is often less visible than abuse but leaves deep feelings of loneliness. This neglect may show as parents being too busy to meet a child's daily needs or emotionally distant, making the child feel unseen. For example, in many dual-income Chinese families, parents leave children with grandparents or nannies, meeting material needs but lacking deep emotional bonds. This absence can lead children to develop extreme independence or dependency in adult relationships, seeking to fill childhood voids. Forward notes that children of neglectful parents often unconsciously seek substitute parents, craving excessive attention or validation from friends or partners. However, this pursuit often backfires, leading to conflict or disappointment in relationships. To address this, Forward suggests building inner security, such as affirming one's worth through self-talk or cultivating independence through hobbies. She also advises that children of neglectful parents must accept their emotional needs as valid, not as weaknesses. Regularly sharing feelings with trusted individuals can help rebuild emotional connections and ease childhood loneliness. British author J.K. Rowling has openly discussed feeling lonely in her teens due to her family's financial struggles and emotional distance from her parents. This neglect led her to believe she was unworthy of love until she rebuilt her self-worth through writing and therapy. Forward suggests that children of neglectful parents practice self-affirmation and seek external support, like friends or mentors, to fill emotional gaps. The harm from perfectionist parents is more subtle. Forward shares the case of Alan, whose successful businessman father set unrealistically high standards. This left Alan with deep self-doubt, feeling never good enough even after career success, leading to chronic anxiety and health issues. Forward notes that children of perfectionist parents often carry the heavy belief that only perfection earns love. Abusive parents cause the most direct harm. Forward tells of Lisa, who was verbally humiliated by her father, called a useless failure as a child. This emotional abuse left her struggling with confidence and repeatedly choosing harmful partners in adulthood. Forward writes, the words of abusive parents cut like knives into a child's soul. Through therapy, Lisa learned to challenge these negative labels and rebuild her self-worth. Chaotic parents keep children on an emotional roller coaster. Zhu Zuran pseudonym, a 33-year-old Shenzhen entrepreneur, recalls his mother's moods being as unpredictable as the weather, sometimes warm, sometimes cold and harsh. This instability left him distrustful of intimate relationships, fearing sudden changes in others' attitudes. Forward suggests that children of chaotic parents build emotional stability through practices like meditation or structured routines to balance their inner world. Chapter 3. Tracing the roots of personality flaws. How does the toxicity of the family of origin translate into personality flaws in adulthood? Forward believes childhood experiences form inner beliefs in the subconscious, acting as scripts that control our behavior. For example, a child from a perfectionist family may develop the belief I'm never good enough, leading to overachievement or fear of failure. A child from a neglectful family may believe I'm not worthy of love, causing clinginess or withdrawal in relationships. Take American singer Billie Eilish as an example. Despite her successful career, she revealed in the documentary The World's a Little Blurry that her parents, though supportive of her music, often neglected her emotional needs due to their busy schedules. This left her feeling she had to prove herself to be worthy of love. Forward writes, childhood emotional neglect drives adults to seek external validation. Through therapy and songwriting, Billie learned to embrace her imperfections. Similar patterns are common in China. Zhang Heiran pseudonym, a 35-year-old programmer, grew up in a neglectful family where his parents were too busy to care for his inner world. As an adult, he felt inferior in social settings, fearing rejection. Forward suggests using journaling or therapy to uncover these inner beliefs and replace them with positive self-talk, such as shifting "I'm not worthy of love" to "I deserve love and can love myself." Inner beliefs often tie to specific childhood events. These events might be a harsh parental criticism, a moment of neglect, or an unfulfilled expectation. For instance, a child who made a mistake in a school performance and faced parental indifference or scolding may develop the belief "I don't deserve attention." This belief can manifest as social anxiety or avoidance of opportunities in adulthood. Liu Chen's pseudonym, a 30-year-old Shanghai marketing manager, recalls her mother missing her school events due to work, leaving her feeling insignificant. As an adult, she stayed silent in team meetings, fearing her ideas would be dismissed. Forward suggests event reconstruction, recalling specific events, analyzing the emotions they triggered, and reinterpreting them from an adult perspective. Through therapy, Liu realized her mother's absence was due to her own pressures, not Liu's lack of worth. This realization helped her speak up at work. Forward also recommends behavioral experiments to challenge inner beliefs. For example, someone afraid of failure due to childhood criticism can start with small goals, like offering a simple suggestion in a meeting, to build confidence. These small steps, though simple, can dismantle deeply rooted negative beliefs. Forward emphasizes that change requires patience, as inner beliefs form over years, but consistent practice can reshape a more positive self-view. Through a timeline exercise, Forward suggests tracing the origins of these beliefs. Chen Ruoxi's pseudonym, a 29-year-old Hangzhou market specialist, found her fear of abandonment in relationships stemmed from her father's sudden departure in childhood. By journaling her memories, she realized this fear made her overly clingy in relationships. Forward's method helped her build security and trust in others. Another common personality flaw is the people-pleaser tendency. Forward notes that many from controlling or neglectful families seek approval by pleasing others. Emma Wilson's pseudonym, a 41-year-old London doctor, recalls her mother responding to her needs with coldness, forcing her to gain attention through compliance. As an adult, Emma overcompromised at work, even sacrificing her health. Forward suggests people-pleasers practice saying no in small ways to build self-assertion. Forward also stresses that personality flaws result from cumulative interactions, not single events. For example, a child may develop low self-esteem from neglect and anxiety from perfectionist demands. These flaws intertwine, forming complex psychological patterns. Thus, healing requires a holistic approach, not just addressing one issue. Chapter 4. Awareness and Confrontation, the first step to healing. The starting point of healing is awareness. Forward emphasizes that many people don't realize their problems stem from their family of origin. They may blame anxiety or low self-esteem on personal flaws rather than childhood experiences. To break this cycle, we must bravely face the past. Forward suggests recalling childhood experiences and noting how parents' behaviors affected your emotions to identify the roots of harm. She shares the case of Mark, a 35-year-old successful lawyer who felt persistently empty. Through therapy, he discovered his father's coldness led to the belief "I must succeed to be valued." His therapist guided him to write down painful childhood memories and analyze how they shaped his present. This process helped Mark realize his emptiness stemmed from childhood emotional neglect, not his career. Similarly, Zhou Yutong's pseudonym, a 27-year-old Guangzhou designer, found her tendency to overplease in relationships came from her mother's use of silent treatment as punishment. Forward's emotion diary helped her recognize this pattern. Each time she felt rejected, she instinctively placated others. Through journaling and reflection, she began expressing her needs instead of always accommodating. Awareness is not easy. Forward warns that confronting childhood trauma may bring anger, sadness, or guilt. These emotions are normal, but must not halt progress. She suggests finding safe outlets, like trusted friends or therapists, to avoid suppressing emotions. Sophia Carter's pseudonym, a 34-year-old New York journalist, discovered in therapy that her anger toward her mother stemmed from childhood neglect. Through discussions with her therapist, she transformed that anger into motivation to pursue her goals. Awareness also requires letting go of idealized expectations of parents. Letting go of idealized parental expectations is a complex and painful process, especially in cultures that emphasize filial piety. Many fear acknowledging parental flaws, worried it equates to disloyalty. However, Forward stresses that recognizing parents' limitations is not betrayal but a way to free ourselves from unrealistic expectations. Yang Wei's pseudonym, a 33-year-old Shenzhen engineer, long sought his father's approval, only to face coldness. Through therapy, he realized his father's detachment stemmed from his own childhood trauma, not Zhang's failures. This insight allowed him to focus on personal growth rather than seeking his father's validation. Forward suggests using cognitive restructuring to address this challenge. When feeling anger or disappointment toward parents, list possible reasons for their behavior, like financial stress or personal limitations. This approach doesn't excuse parents but helps view the past objectively, reducing inner conflict. Forward also recommends writing a letter to parents to express unresolved emotions without necessarily sending it. This can release pent-up feelings and create space for healing. Forward notes that many idealize parental behavior, thinking they did their best. This denial can hinder healing. She suggests a reality check, acknowledge parents' limitations and accept that they may not change. Yang Zimo's pseudonym, a 31-year-old Beijing accountant, realized her father's criticism reflected his own frustrations, not her inadequacy. This understanding freed her from self-blame, allowing her to focus on her growth. Chapter 5. Setting Boundaries, the key to reshaping relationships. One core aspect of healing is learning to set boundaries. Forward notes that toxic parents often disregard children's boundaries, and in adulthood, children must redefine their relationship with parents. This protects oneself and builds a healthy sense of self. She proposes non-confrontational communication, express needs calmly and firmly, avoiding blame or avoidance. Take American actor Matthew McConaughey as an example. In his memoir Green Lights, he describes a strained relationship with his controlling father, who pushed him toward a family business instead of acting. Through honest conversations, McConaughey clearly expressed his career choice, eventually earning his father's respect. Forward writes, setting boundaries isn't rejecting parents but affirming that you are an independent individual. In China, setting boundaries can be more challenging due to cultural differences. Li Ruohan's pseudonym, a 30-year-old Beijing teacher, felt stifled by her mother's over-involvement. She used Forward's I statement approach, saying, "I feel overwhelmed because I need to make my own decisions, instead of you're always controlling me." This reduced conflict and gradually earned her mother's respect for her choices. Forward notes that setting boundaries involves not just words but consistent actions. For example, if parents disregard your decisions, reduce contact frequency or temporarily pause communication. Gu Zhaoqing's pseudonym, a 38-year-old Shanghai lawyer, struggled with her mother's constant interference in her marriage. By reducing weekly calls and firmly stating she wouldn't discuss marriage, she helped her mother respect her space. Setting boundaries can trigger guilt, especially in cultures valuing family harmony. This guilt is particularly strong in Asian cultures, where family duty often prioritizes collective over individual needs. In China, many feel intense moral pressure for refusing parental demands, seeing boundary setting as a betrayal of family. Forward suggests redefining filial piety. True devotion isn't blind obedience but building a healthy relationship based on respect and understanding. Chen Zhaoan's pseudonym, a 29-year-old Guangzhou nurse, felt suffocated by her mother's interference in her career choices. Through regular communication, she expressed her career goals and maintained family TIs, like weekly dinners, balancing connection and autonomy. Forward also notes that setting boundaries starts with small behavioral changes. For instance, politely decline unreasonable requests with phrases like, "I have my own plans now, can we discuss later?" This gentle approach minimizes conflict while reinforcing self-assertion. Forward suggests sharing boundary-setting experiences with a support system, like friends or therapists, to stay committed. She emphasizes that healthy boundaries not only improve parental relationships, but also boost confidence in other areas, like asserting needs at work or rejecting unhealthy dependency in romance. Forward advises viewing guilt as part of growth and using self-talk to ease it, such as, "I have the right to protect my inner peace." She stresses that healthy boundaries extend beyond parents, applying to workplaces, friendships, and romantic relationships. For example, refusing unreasonable work demands or expressing true feelings in romance are ways to practice boundaries. Chapter 6: Self-Healing, Rebuilding Inner Strength. Healing involves not just confronting the past, but rebuilding inner self-worth. Forward offers practical methods, including self-talk, behavioral changes, and seeking support systems. She highlights that inner child concept, the wounded child within us needs acceptance and comfort from our adult selves. Take Oprah Winfrey as an example. Despite a childhood of poverty and abuse, she rebuilt herself through self-reflection and therapy. She shared on her show that writing letters to her childhood self released years of anger and shame. Forward writes, "Talking to your inner child is a core step in healing, allowing you to love the once helpless self." In China, similar methods apply. Dao Qingwen's pseudonym, a 28-year-old Chengdu freelancer, tried the inner child exercise in therapy. She imagined comforting her childhood self, saying, "You are worthy of love." This helped her let go of dependence on parental approval and pursue passions like painting and travel. Forward also suggests reinforcing self-worth through behavioral changes. For example, set small goals, like writing one self-affirming sentence daily, or join support groups to share experiences. These actions shift us from victimhood to active creators of our lives. Eileen Parker's pseudonym, a 36-year-old London artist, joined a psychological growth group, sharing her experiences of childhood neglect. This gave her a sense of belonging and courage to explore new career paths, becoming a successful illustrator. Self-healing also requires building emotional regulation skills. Developing emotional regulation starts with small daily practices, especially for those prone to anxiety or anger from childhood trauma. Forward recommends the emotion pause technique. When negative emotions arise, pause, take deep breaths, notice physical reactions like a racing heart or tense muscles, and describe the emotions without acting impulsively. Li Na's pseudonym, a 34-year-old Beijing freelancer, found she often collapsed under stress due to childhood neglect. By practicing the emotion pause and journaling her feelings, she learned to handle issues more calmly. Forward also suggests releasing emotions through art or physical activity. Painting can express hard-to-articulate feelings, while running or yoga relieves stress through movement. Zhou Zhaoqing's pseudonym, a 32-year-old Hangzhou teacher, found weekly dance classes helped her shed childhood inferiority, reconnecting her body and mind. Forward emphasizes that these activities not only manage emotions, but also build self-efficacy, reinforcing our ability to change. She also recommends creating an emotional toolbox with tools like listening to music, journaling, or talking to trusted people for quick support during low moments. These tools build resilience, helping us move beyond the shadow of childhood trauma. Forward suggests using meditation, exercise, or creative arts to release negative emotions. Zhu Gaxuan's pseudonym, a 32-year-old Hangzhou yoga instructor, used daily meditation to calm anxiety and shed the shadow of childhood criticism. She found that focusing on her breath kept past wounds from disrupting her emotions. Forward also stresses the importance of external support. Whether friends, partners, or therapists, a reliable support system helps sustain the healing journey. Lucas Chen's pseudonym, a 29-year-old Sydney marketing manager, learned to embrace his imperfections through candid talks with close friends. Their encouragement led him to try new hobbies like photography, rediscovering joy in life. Chapter 7: Breaking the Intergenerational Cycle, Creating a New Future. The ultimate goal of healing is not just repairing ourselves, but breaking the cycle of intergenerational trauma. Forward notes that many parents repeat the patterns of their own childhood, unconsciously passing harm to the next generation. Understanding this allows us to forgive parental limitations and consciously choose different parenting approaches. Take American writer James Baldwin as an example. In his autobiographical novel Go Tell It on the Mountain, he describes how his father's harshness and distance shaped his childhood. Yet, through writing and reflection, Baldwin chose to treat his friends and readers with openness and support, breaking the cycle of coldness. Forward writes, "Changing intergenerational patterns takes courage, but it spares your descendants the same pain." In China, Sun Rulan's pseudonym, a 33-year-old Nanjing therapist, had a similar experience. Her mother's childhood trauma led to emotional volatility, making Sun feel unsettled as a child. As a mother herself, she consciously learned emotional regulation to provide her child a stable environment. Through parenting books and workshops, she learned to listen and encourage rather than criticize. Forward suggests breaking the cycle starts with self-change. For example, learning healthy communication can build more equal family relationships. She recommends role-playing exercises. Imagine responding to a child or partner with kindness, such as saying, "I know you tried your best. Let's solve this together," instead of scolding. Forward also highlights the role of community and culture. Joining support groups or volunteering can spread healing experiences to others. Wang Zikan pseudonym, a 35-year-old Shanghai volunteer, organized mental health workshops to share his healing journey. Helping others not only reinforced his growth, but gave him a sense of purpose. Epilogue, breaking free from the past, embracing a new life. The scars of our family of origin may stay with us forever, but they don't have to define our lives. In Toxic Parents, Dr. Susan Forward offers a clear path to healing, from recognizing childhood marks to confronting toxic parental influences, setting boundaries, rebuilding self-worth, and breaking intergenerational cycles. This path is not easy, but it's worth taking. As Forward says, you can't change the past, but you can change how it affects you. When we learn to embrace our imperfections and speak up for ourselves, the shadows of childhood fade, giving way to a freer, truer self.